I've always been passionate about giving back and helping. I could have been basically that child without the opportunities in Somalia. And that's what really, I think that was a drive for me to become a doctor.
Fahima Osman is entering her first day of school in Canada. Everything is strange. She and her family have just arrived from Abu Dhabi as refugees. Her father has spent their last few dollars on a plane ticket, and the family has landed with nothing. Fahima barely speaks English. The kids tease her because of her accent, and it's hard to make friends. Not only does Fahima have to survive in this strange world, she has to thrive. More than anything, Fahima's heart is set on becoming a doctor.
I've always had the desire in me to become a doctor, ever since I could remember, to the point that I would say was an obsession. I used to always visualize myself wearing a lab coat and a stethoscope, so that way I could see myself, actually put myself in that situation to just go for it. I used to decorate my room with A's and A+. That would always remind me of just to study as much as possible.
Fahima's father traveled a long road to get his wife and children to Canada. He comes from a long line of desert nomads. He nearly drowned fleeing to Abu Dhabi to make a better life for himself. As the eldest, Fahima was to pave the way, but the odds were against her. The chances of even getting to university, much less graduating from medical school, were small. Through her incredible work ethic, Fahima became an A student, but the bar was set low for refugee kids.
Teachers and guidance counselors said that I wouldn't be able to get into medical school. That made me lose my confidence.
Fahima stopped saying she wanted to be a doctor at school. Even her bright spirit began to dim.
I felt hopeless, and I was ready to give up. I've always, ever since I could remember, I always looked young for my age. At the age of 16, I looked like I was 10 years old. I was very tall and skinny, and I felt awkward, not comfortable in my body.
Fahima worked her way through university, applied for medical school, and then had to wait to see if she got in.
The day that I found out I got into medical school was the happiest day of my life. I felt so nervous. Once my mother opened that mailbox, I was so excited. I was jumping up and down and gave her a big kiss, and that moment I just knew my whole life has changed.
In medical school, and later as a doctor, Fahima was often discounted, even called a nice little girl. It was hard for her to tell if it was because she was black, a woman, or had a baby face, or a combination of all three. But by now, she appreciated her own unconventional beauty and had learned to walk like a queen.
Beauty for me means to be confident, just realizing that there is more to you than basically the way you look, and that there's not one image that just defines beauty.
Fahima graduated as a general surgeon and moved on to the true goal of her childhood, not only to become a doctor, but to return to what was now Somaliland. But when Fahima arrived in Somaliland as a volunteer, she saw the reality.
When I worked in Somaliland as a general surgeon, I found out that it wasn't a sustainable system. I felt that it's not enough to do a few surgeries and then come back. I truly believe that the best way to give back is by training and empowering those students so they can help themselves and future generations.
Fahima, you've traveled from the desert of your early schooling to the promise of an extraordinary career. You should be famous for fighting to become one of the first Canadian-trained doctors of the country's largest African community, for taking the time to be a role model to refugees all over the world, for continuing to challenge yourself and others to open a new era of healthcare for East Africa.